I don't know if it's my chair, the camera, or my shoulders that are crooked. Hello and welcome to Writer Sanctuary. Today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome affects millions of people across the globe regardless of the industry. It often happens with those who have a low self-esteem or lack self-confidence to put in the work. And it's an exceptionally bad problem for freelancers. Imposter syndrome boils down to being a mental disorder that will prevent you from being a success. And in some drastic cases, it could actually inspire failure. And as a freelance writer, when you start focusing on the negative aspect of imposter syndrome, you're more likely to make mistakes. In fact, a lot of people will inadvertently sabotage their own careers because of it. It happens when you sit back and think to yourself, who am I to write this piece of content? What gives me the right to tell people how to behave in a certain way? And that kind of mentality is why I don't really produce as many videos on YouTube as I should. Because I do have a little bit of a self-confidence issue, and I start thinking to myself, who am I to teach you how to write? But in reality, I'm the one who's finished more than 7,000 projects across the last 7 years for countless clients across the globe. I'm not tooting my own horn, I'm just saying, that's my expertise. But then there's days where I think to myself, am I really as good as I think I am? According to my clients, I am. According to myself, not so much. But it's something I'm working through. And that's all you can really do. And in the beginning, it was pretty rough. I had to talk myself into doing a bunch of things that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that I wound up being a success at. Like the biggest thing was moving out of my comfort zone in certain categories in Dexbroker. Like I'd concentrate totally on computer and networking, and then I started expanding my horizons into like animals and travel, and I found that I have far more skills in other areas that I didn't really think I did. So what are some ways you can work on imposter syndrome as a freelance writer? Probably the first step would be to accept the compliments as they come. Now, if you really suffer from imposter syndrome, you have a really hard time accepting compliments no matter who they come from. All my friends and family want me to finish a novel that I've been working on because they love it, but in my mentality is, they're just saying that so they don't hurt my feelings. The end result is often that I throw it away. That's one of the reasons why I started writing on Wattpad. It was a platform where strangers could put in their 2 cents on my ability. But accepting compliments for me is extremely difficult. But like everything else, I'm working through it. Much to the pleasure of my client, who thinks I'm crazy that I don't like my stuff. She thinks it's amazing, but whatever. So instead of the default, I try response to any time she gives me a compliment, it's thank you. Second, try writing a list of your accomplishments. There's times where I'll fill out like a personal resume type thing on a piece of paper, and I'll write down all my abilities. Now the problem is that you have to be honest with yourself. Now a lot of us don't like looking and seeing that we can do certain things, but if you want to surpass imposter syndrome, you have to be honest with yourself. So write down all of your accomplishments and awards and benefits that you've had over the past several years. Last time I did it, I filled up like 3 pages worth of stuff. And know what that tells me? That I know a lot of useless shit. Well, I wouldn't call it useless, I'm still working. The third thing you want to concentrate on is stop trying to impress everyone. Like I tell all my clients and like I tell everybody I try to help become a freelance writer, you cannot please 100% of the people 100% of the time. You can make a simple comment on a Twitter feed and people will attack you for it, even though it's completely innocent. Those aren't the people you're trying to please though. What you should be doing is focusing on making your client happy. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks, it just matters what they think. If they think that you write the most amazing content in the world and they're willing to give you a ton of money to do it, they're the only ones you have to worry about. It all comes down to trolls will be trolls. And you gotta find a way to develop a thick skin and let it all roll off your back. Because people are gonna hate for the sheer purpose of hating. That's okay. They're not your target audience. Same with these YouTube videos. There's a lot of people that probably think they suck. But the people that do think they suck, they're not the ones I'm trying to target. I'm trying to target the ones who sat here throughout the entire video to learn how to become a writer. Next, don't be afraid to be wrong. No one knows everything about every topic. You'll undoubtedly come across stuff that you don't know or that you get wrong, and it happens. But for those who suffer from imposter syndrome, it feeds into that mentality of, I'm not good enough to be this. Well, that's false. When I first started writing, I sucked when it came to commas. I had the hardest time shifting from Oxford to AP style English. But when you are wrong, just take the time to fix the mistake. The only failures I believe in are those that you don't learn from. If you make a mistake and you refuse to learn why you made that mistake to fix it for the next time, that's a failure. Otherwise, it's just a learning experience. Now, if you're dealing with clients, the next thing you need to worry about is realizing why you got the job in the first place. Now, a client hired you for a specific task. They see something in you that you probably don't see yourself. They're not going to give you charity work. I have yet to come across a client that says, I'm going to go ahead and pay you 50 cents a word just because you're having a hard time. It doesn't work like that. There's a reason why you have a client. There's a reason why you're on a text broker team. Somebody's seeing something good inside you. Nourish that. Always remember, you deserve to be here, in the here and now. Whether it's working for a client, working for a text broker, on Fiverr, it doesn't matter. If someone's willing to pay you for your professional abilities, there's a reason. It's because you're going to give them what they want. And they know it. The last thing as a writer for dealing with imposter syndrome is the realization that you're denying others the experience of you. I can't count the number of times that I've started a novel only to throw it away because I thought it sucked. And in one instance, my ex was physically attacking me because of it. She was pissed. But know what I did when I threw that away? Yes, I failed. Secondly, I denied others the experience of reading it for themselves. Just because you think something sucks doesn't mean somebody else is going to. I've completed a ton of work that I thought for sure was going to come back for revision requests, and the clients gave me glowing reviews on Textbroker about it and how they loved the article, and they kept sending me more and more work. Even though I thought the original piece was shit, they loved it. Let the clients be the judge. If you're writing a novel, let your readers judge it. But when you start thinking to yourself that you don't deserve to write it or that you suck, you're going to. So that's going to do it for me today. And if you're one of the millions that suffer from imposter syndrome, or that you have a severe lack of ability and lack of self-confidence, I would suggest seeking some kind of psychological help. As a freelance writer, having the mentality that you suck and that you don't deserve to have a client is going to affect you in the long run. You'll find that you're less motivated to work, you'll bring in less money, and it will definitely affect how you write. If you're like me, your emotions will influence the style that you write. So anywho, thank you for watching, and if you like the content, leave a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit that button too. But I think that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see you tomorrow.